Let's dial in a quick and dirty rock rig with the new Fractal AM4. I'm currently in the effects mode, which means I can use the A, B, C, and D encoders to directly select the effects block type that I want in each of the effects slots. So let's start out with the C encoder, and I'm going to select an amp block. So I've brought up the amp block, I hit enter to confirm my choice, and I hit enter again to edit this amp block. You can see I've got the entire selection of Fractal Audio amp models available in here. I'm feeling a JCM 800 vibe with this Les Paul at the moment, so let's select the Brit 800 2203 high. I'll page across where I have my authentic controls, but an immediate point of difference with any other Fractal Audio product is the cab block is integrated into the amp block. So you can see this has automatically selected a relevant Dynacab for my amp choice. I chose a JCM 800 model. It's selected this 4x12 1960 TV cab with a condenser mic, and I have the option of using the A and B encoders to adjust the distance and position on here. So let's play around with that a little bit. That's already sounding pretty slam, and I wouldn't mind blending in a different microphone to go with that condenser. So I'll come over here and I will unmute this second cab. I'll leave it on the 1960 TV setting, but I might select a ribbon mic over here. And what I like here is now I've got the A and B encoder to adjust the first cab, and then the C and D encoder to adjust the second cab. So what I'll do is I'll move this ribbon mic a lot closer to the center over here, and then I'll just kind of blend it, thinking that the position is going to change how bright it is, and the distance is going to change the low end content on there. Let's just hear it at the moment. Pretty happy with that. I do have the option to change the blend between the two cabs. I'm going to leave it where it is at the moment. I also have the option, of course, to add some filtering in here. So if I wanted to add a little bit of a high cut with, say, a 12 dB per octave slope on here, I can do that, and I can add a little bit of a low cut in here just to kind of fine tune that amp and cab sound. I haven't actually touched any of the settings in the amp at all. I think just using the Dynacabs is such a powerful tone shaping tool. Let's hear this and then add some grease. That sounds like an angry JCM 800 to me. I like it. Let's hit exit over here so we can come back to our effects mode. What I would like on here is maybe something that's a bit swirly, like a phaser, a boost in front of the amp, and then a delay or a reverb afterwards. Let's start out with, say, a phaser. So I'll use the A encoder to get over to the phaser block. I will hit enter, then I'll hit enter again so that I can come through and select the type that I want. Let's go with just the stripe 90. I know this sounds good at the stock settings. Let's select a drive block next in here. Again, I'll go to enter, and you know what? The Valve Screamer VS9 is a good option. My go-to settings are always drive all the way down, level all the way up over here, and I like cranking the tone on this. And then let's add, say, a delay at the end of this. There is this new surround delay mode in here that I love the sound of. So let's go all the way over to that one. We will select surround delay. I'll hit enter. Again, probably the stock settings will be pretty sweet on this. Because I'm in the effects mode over here, I can just engage and disengage these as I like. Let's hear them. That surround delay sounds so epic, and you can't go wrong with that combination of a phaser and something like a tube screamer in front of a Marshall for a rock rig. Now, a really cool AM4 specific feature on here is in the amp block, rather than this foot switch bypassing the amp, because again, this is meant to be like a real world amp cab and microphone replacement. If you hit that, you can engage a level boost, and you can of course customize the level boost in here. You can page across to this level page over here. So you can set the boost level over here. I'm just going to leave it at the default 3 dB on there. So this is perfect if you want to use this essentially as a pedal board replacement, because it's like having a couple of effects built in. You've got an amp sim in there, and then you've also got a foot switchable level boost in there for your solos. So you could do something like this. This is a perfect rig replacement for me, because when I was gigging with real amps, what I would normally do would just have a single channel amp, like some kind of Marshall. I would set it up for my crunch tone. I'd put a boost pedal in front of it to add a bit of saturation for my lead sound. I'd have an EQ in the loop as a level boost, maybe a delay in the loop, something wobbly like a phaser or a wah. And then if I wanted a cleaner sound, I just use my volume control and I disengage the boost on there exactly the way we had it there. You can hear how dynamic and articulate the amp block is in there. Another great feature that you can make use of are the channels and the scenes. I haven't set up any scenes on here at the moment, but I have set up this fourth foot switch so that when I hold it down, it gives me a channel selector. So I've actually got 4 different delay tones in here. I've got the surround delay, then I've got a pan delay, a stereo mind guy, and a 2290. Let's try the 2290 on here. Now, of course, all the blocks in here have 4 channels, so you could have 4 different amp sounds in there. If you've got something like a phaser drive and delay like I do, you've got 4 variations on each of those. So while it may seem like a very straightforward what you see is what you get setup, of course, with Fractal, they give you so many options to customize your tones on here. I'll give you a quick example of my live preset where I'm making use of channels and scenes. I'm using the 5153 Stealth model here. This is a very quick example of how to use scenes. Again, you can customize all of this to the way you need to use it. There's also a very comprehensive set of modifiers in here, and I will play you out with the pitch follower factory preset, which is pretty amazing. And I don't know of anything else out there, especially in this format, that can do that. But I think the big takeaway here is having the amp and cab block integrated into a single block, the ability to use these 4 encoders simultaneously to dial in the distance and position for 2 Dynacabs. And then of course, when you select an amp block, having it select a relevant Dynacab in there by default is awesome. And it makes dialing in tones so much faster. Let me know what you'd like to see explored on the AM4 in future videos. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what I'm doing, there's various ways to support me. Just check the video description. And like I said, I'll play you out with some pitch follower magic. See you next time.